Thanks for listening. This is Open Windows on Kill Radio. And right now we have Franz K live on the show.
All right. As you can hear, I've got, oh, that's just the first song. Anyway, I've got my backup vocal looping system here, so it repeats whatever I tell it to say. A lot like a lot of people out there. Make your own opinion. Do not be a pawn. All right, here we go into a love song, or what passes for a love song when I write it. A song of love lost, but there's another nice one coming up. And now something a little bit more upbeat. Here we go.
And now something a little bit more upbeat.
Isn't that machine? It's great. It's my backup singers as well. But it's sort of me and a band of robots, and I like that. I can turn them off too. This is what I actually sound like, but why have reality? Here we go. white clouds of smog filling the sky. It's time to get practical. I've got some advice for you. Hey there, scatterbrain, you best get it together before it's too late. Hey there, scatterbrain, best get it together before it's too late. Hey there, scatterbrain, you best get it together before it's too late for you. Before it's too late for you. Before it's too late.
How many of you have heard a message a little bit like that?
You know, it's what we call satirical, actually. But anyway, I've got something optimistic for you now. Let's see, here we are. And I let it explain itself. I can hear someone singing on the street. I wonder who that man is. It's time to reach out as humankind united for the stars. And it all starts with a very important choice you make tomorrow. The future is coming sooner than you expect. Time to turn back now. The future's coming soon. In due time, my love. Future's coming soon. In due time, my love. Future's coming soon. In due time, future's coming soon. Don't give up, don't give up. got one more for the Circuit Benders to finish out this set. And, see, here we go. Gonna take a drink of my tea.
And more toys. Isn't that what life is for? Make them just to break them. You always need some more. Everyone is doing movie records at the store. They make them just to break them, so you always need some more. Broken toys. Broken toys. Throw away your cell phone. Throw away your car. It's only gonna fall apart. It'll fall apart. But sometimes broken toys are the best toys. Sometimes broken toys are the best toys in the toy box for tonight. We might have some broken toys right here on my control box. But you know what they say about those broken toys? Sometimes broken toys are the best toys. Sometimes broken toys are the best toys. Sometimes broken toys are the best toys in the toy box for tonight. Sometimes broken toys are the best toys. Sometimes broken toys are best toys. Sometimes broken toys are the best toys in the toy box for tonight.
by Franz K. Incredible. Get this guy a microphone.
No, Franz, thank you very much.
Get this guy a microphone. Franz, welcome.
Was I not recording?
Some great vocals.
Was I not recording?
I think it was recording. I don't know.
I don't know.
I wasn't
Maybe it
paying
wasn't.
attention, but
As
we
long
were
as you
recording
got
the
the
audio.
the video wasn't all
I
that
was taking
amazing.
pictures too, so people are listening out there and they're dancing their asses off to the beats.
And one thing I gotta say is it's a miracle that I can talk after singing that. But
Yeah, drink some more tea. You know, we got a microwave right
this
here.
this tea is actually very good for the voice.
What kind of tea is that? Some herbal tea, huh?
It's licorice tea.
Licorice?
Good for singers.
It's good for the
And,
harsh vocal style that you do, huh? You must tear up your vocal cords. It must be painful, right? I mean,
Actually, you know, there are some singers who sing harshly all the time, and there are some singers who sing quietly all the time, and
how do people do it?
I alternate. And that's why I had that song, the last one, because if that was the first, I couldn't have done the rest.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Really, it must have been.
so the gamelan, the beautiful sound.
Thought I'd put a little bit of that behind you because you kind of requested it earlier.
Oh yes, thank you.
You
Thank
were
for
explaining
bringing
what
me the sound of the gamelan.
I think there's a link somehow between your music and that. I don't know what it is, but maybe you could elaborate.
In fact, when I was a student at UCLA,
Uh-huh.
I took several classes in ethnomusicology, and they have
Nice.
an excellent gamelan out there.
Yeah.
And one of my proudest moments at UCLA was getting to remix the UCLA gamelan that I went down there and recorded with a DAT recorder,
Wow.
which was like state of the art back then. We don't even know what a DAT is anymore, but now that we have all of these digital, but you know, it was high quality, and I sort of remixed it into IDM, and then one of my early ambient songs. I don't know. I just really like the gamelan because. You know, the first time I heard it, just like anybody else, I thought it was kind of out of tune. And then I realized it's not out of tune. It's just a different tune. It's in a different tune.
Right.
And, you know, it helped open up my eyes to the idea of microtonality and just other tonality. You know, and the fact that our Western musical ideas that we are so conditioned with
Yep.
are not the only possible thing out there. You know, there's so much, you know, like gamelan, for example, like this turntable, they notate their compositions in a circle instead of in sheet music linearly. So, you know, it goes around, and I've never actually been a player in a gamelan because it requires a lot of synchronization. It's for those of you who don't know, it's like a very giant, ornate xylophone orchestra, you might say, with like 5 or 10 people, right? Or could be more, I don't know.
Yeah.
But just beautiful. And one of my favorite experiences of UCLA was I just heard this strange but beautiful music coming from over the hills, and I'm all, what is that? And I climbed, you know, down the hill from the dormitories and out to the field where the gamelan was playing, and I was just transfixed. That's a good word. And by the sound of it, so anyway. So, yeah. Any questions about the setup or whatever? Or
Well, yeah. I mean, basically, so you were basically kind of doing kind of an IDM set with other kind of styles in there. How would you describe the different styles of electronica that you were kind of going through?
Well, I've been into electronic music for a long time, so I've done a lot of different styles, and after a certain point, you know, a lot of people start with one style, and today
that style will probably be dubstep, you know, because that is the
Yeah.
big thing. A couple of years ago, it was, you know, this club electro, like Daft Punk, you know, but you may start with one style, but then you realize that from that, you can branch out. And, you know, I was into industrial music, I was into rave music and stuff like that.
Right.
And that was my gateway to a lot more complicated stuff like, you know, IDM and other things, which has, you know, ended up informing even the popular so-called EDM of today that you'll hear.
EDM,
You know,
I hear that term a lot lately.
you know, just all the glitching and other things like that that is inherent in a lot of dubstep tracks. I mean, Aphex Twin and, you know, Musique, Venetian Snares, Square Pusher. These people were doing that 15 years ago.
Autechre, yeah.
You know, and it's interesting that the sound sort of spreads out from the underground to the overground gradually. It trickles up. It grows up like a beautiful tree, with branches in every direction. So.
I like that analogy. I like that analogy of the tree and branching out and rippling.
Yeah.
Well, ever since I've known you, you've always been really into these like sort of cutting edge devices that are very hands on, and the whole time it wasn't like you just press play on your laptop. You know, I mean, you really had some devices going.
Thank you.
Where you were like interactive playing, stopping, pushing buttons, holding stuff down, sliding sliders, turning knobs, the entire.
Yeah,
time.
that's right. Well,
that seems to be your kind of big thing.
Well, you know, with laptops, they'll call it controllerism, but here I have Electribe, Chaos Pad, and a voice processor. And, you know, I try to do it on stage and be visible so people know that I'm not just spinning a disc or something like that. I'm interacting, and my big joke is, you can tell that I am doing something in live music because of the mistakes I make. You can hear sort of numerous mistakes in there, but, you know, my dad played a lot of jazz for us when we were kids, so we learned the idea of mistakes and improvisation, and a mistake that you suddenly turn into the beginning of an improvisation. And so, you know, I'm doing a lot of that if I should make an error. And in fact, because it's semi pre-rehearsed, but there's a lot of improv going on there, and sometimes I think up the lyrics while the songs are going on instead of going by the lyric sheets, or sing the lyrics of a different song to the melody of you know, whatever. But yeah, it's very improv, and I just want people to know, you know, I've had other types of musicians, you know, very good even musicians who were just sort of xenophobic about the idea of computers doing music. And one of my big things is just to try and tell people, but show them through example, that it really is, you know, a new form of instrument and creative expression and something you do.
But you just mentioned it. Why? What's the fear? I mean,
What's the fear?
you know, xenophobic. I mean, of computerized music. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I know in this room, all of us, we are very open-minded, but I have encountered, believe it or not, I've even encountered experimental musicians who accused me of not being a musician. And that, I won't name any names, but, you know, it's like experimental. You know, you're supposed to experiment and do different things. And, you know, the idea of folk music, you know, folk music, people would play washboards. People would make a guitar out of a cigar box.
That's right.
People would make, you know, imbiras like we had last time. That guy was amazing.
Yeah.
But, you know, people would make imbiras out of all kinds of things, even nails hammered into things, and they would just tune them, make steel drums out of things. The folk will make folk music with what objects they have.
That's right.
And we are in the 21st century, so we have a lot of electronic things lying
That's right.
around.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, there is the traditional definition of folk music, which is a certain sound it evokes, but
Yeah.
in a way you can say that hip-hop is folk music because
That's
they
true.
took a turntable and started using it in a different way
That's
than
right.
it was or whatever.
And-
Or, you know, the
And
kid...
taking referencing other things that are from the past or
Sure.
or from each other, or you know,
Yeah.
like folk music it always does. Taking referencing another
Right.
person's chord progression or whatever,
Mhm.
and or taking somebody else's melody and putting your own words to it,
Yeah.
or covering someone else's song, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know, and the stories of ballads going across countries and continents
Uh-huh.
over centuries, all of this stuff, it is some way in akin to sampling, except it's sampling going through a human brain, because there wasn't such a thing as audio recording.
Yeah.
I would say it's evolution. It's just an evolution of music. I mean, I would say that. Now,
But thank you very much. Thank
oh, you got it. I mean, do you think that you're just getting kind of like some kind of flack or resentment because you're going in another direction? Even like, it is experimental. I mean, if you got to look the word up. I mean, really.
And if we have time, I will do another experimental set later on in the night that is completely improv and really weird. I don't
Yeah,
know how.
good.
What
Yes, we
is
do
our
have
what is
time.
our time like?
There is no time constraint right now.
Oh, okay.
The
Good.
show after us is not on the air tonight, so
Okay, but yeah,
So-
you know, it's. Thank you for saying so, and
Sure.
that is my belief too. And you know, it's interesting to see how you know, hip hop, electronica, and punk rock all grew up together side by side. You know, electronica being pop electronica being new wave or whatever you want to call it, or early industrial or other things, you know, and there was a lot of crossovers in the early days between those three styles, and it was very interesting. And now everyone is putting up these cement walls and saying, "Oh no, this is hip hop," and that is. But you know, ironically, there was a rapper who said, "Oh man, nobody listens to techno" a few years ago, but if you listen to the hip hop of today, it
It's-
sounds like the techno of about 10 years ago
yeah, it
with
is.
rapping, you
Yeah.
know, and at a slower tempo.
Mm-hmm.
These musics, you know, just like on a guitar, you can play all sorts of melodies, all sorts of
Yeah.
things. On a drum machine, you can play all different styles too. I can actually transform a hip hop beat in about 5 minutes into a techno beat and back just by changing parameters, speeds, a few voices, and other things.
Yeah.
It's got more similarities than differences, just like people.
Yeah.
We should all work together. That's what
It's-
I say.
Yeah.
We have a lot of difference and similarities. I just wish it was more similarities, but
Now,
Yeah.
do you perform a lot? Do you live?
You know, it's interesting because I do, but a lot of times I am doing visual projections. Like, I'm more known as VJ Franz K, which stands for video jockey. That's not my first initials. It's my
Right.
title. I do, you know, the sort of psychedelic video projections you see on the wall of you know, electronica shows or of rock and roll. And that's sort of an evolution of the liquid light shows that they had back
Yeah.
in the 60s, or the 80s video walls that they had, you know. That's another thing. So,
So you're utilizing software and
software,
inputs from
hardware,
cameras and
input from cameras and all that. And, you know, so oftentimes I'm doing visuals with other electronica performers rather than performing my own electronica. But I have an album that I'm working on completing. It's a DVD. And I was going to have it ready by 2012. It'll probably be ready by 2013 now sometime. But
Yeah.
it has 15 songs, with every song has a music video, including Broken Toys, which we just played, has a bunch of everything from computer animation to hand-drawn stuff, and, you know, I'm going to be looking for a label for that when it's complete, and interesting stuff.
Yeah, so you're working hard. That's good.
Oh, yeah, and I do a lot of stuff on YouTube, so just look up VJ Franz K. Actually, that is the way I am best known outside of California, or, you know, and internet radio is just great because you can listen to it anywhere, you know, and
Yeah.
it is the evolution of radio.
I think so. I mean, this is it. Right here, Kill
communication.
Radio. It's like, it's...
And
Listen to it on your iPod, your iPhone.
I recommend everybody
all
listen every
great.
week, because you have all kinds of great guests here, and everybody listen every week. That's what I suggest.
Thank
Thanks.
you. So, I had a question. So, what got you interested in what you're doing? I mean, were you playing any kind of band before this, or...
Good question.
Okay.
Well, and we're talking about another sort of generational thing here. My dad is a computer programmer, you know, and so I got my hands on computers early on, and I was part of probably the first generation of people whose first instrument was a computer and not anything else. So I've been doing electronic music since day zero. But there's going to be a lot more generations now, because every house has a computer now.
That's right.
And, you know, seriously, with software that is either open source and free, you can get free open source software to record your own electronic acoustic or hybrid music. And that's another thing that you're hearing a lot on the radio, is the hybridization. Now that the electronic equipment is more affordable, you know, it is as affordable. It might be cheaper than regular instruments because everyone already had a computer anyway, so you just get the software and you can do that right on your thing. And that's a lot of the stuff that I do on my channel, is recommending various software and hardware for people to get their hands on live electronic music making.
So you're basically an expert on the latest equipment, like from companies like Korg and Roland and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I would take.
yeah. I like Korg. I like Akai a lot. Do have a lot of Korg. You know, Dave Smith Instruments has just made a drum machine that I'm really, really interested in to drop some sound. Completely hybridization of analog synthesis with digital is a big thing that is happening. And, you know, the control of analog, the control of a digital sequencer with the sound generation of analog is becoming very popular now, because there's a certain richness to it. And
Right.
you know, I've been in a bunch of different bands. Usually I play the drummer,
I see.
because you'll notice
Yeah.
my music is pretty percussion heavy.
Yeah. Yes, I did notice that. Yeah.
You know, I would be the drummer and or the singer in a band like that. And, you know, for a while I was a member and collaborator with Amps for Christ, performing as
That's
the
right.
drummer,
Yeah.
you know, with synthesizers and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And, man,
Yeah. That was really cool.
it's amazing. And there's you know, more in the future that I
Yeah.
won't tell you more than that, but look for some things in the future involving me and AFC, because just a totally amazing band. Barnes is a genius musical inventor, and always coming up with new devices and new sounds, new ways to use it, and just can't say enough good about it.
Yeah,
it's great stuff.
So, Franz, it seems to me that you're the person who planted the seed and that produced the tree and kind of that branched out. I mean,
one of many people. I mean, obviously, electronic music, I guess, the first synthesizer, the story of it was way back in the beginning of the 20th century. I need to look back. There might have even been one before the beginning of the 20th century, but right around the turn of the century, the first huge, giant, cumbersome synthesizers emerged, and it has been a slow evolution through things, tape loops,
Mm-hmm.
And you notice I was using live looping there, which is gaining popularity with musicians of all kinds,
Absolutely,
from guitarists, human beatboxers,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody is getting into this whole loop thing, which used to have to be done with tape, but now the digital makes it much, much easier to get a lot more loops going at a time.
Yeah. It's totally altering the way music is made.
Oh, but
and thought of the one-man band thing, like you are part of, really has just skyrocketed in popularity in the last few years. I think.
Yeah, sure.
so it kind of takes the loopholes out then, right?
And there is a great interview. You might hear it within the sounds of some of my singing, but I'm a big fan of The Doors. And there is a great interview with Jim Morrison. I believe it was his last interview on PBS.
I know the one where he had the big beard and the sunglasses.
He was forecasting the idea of, a performer using electronic setups and tape loops, maybe something else.
Synthesizers and
singing and talking with a bunch of machines
electronics,
or something like that.
He said like in 5 or 8 years or whatever. That's what it would be like.
And he was right on.
Yeah.
He was right on, and it's too bad he didn't stick around to see it, but you never know. Maybe he's hiding somewhere with Elvis and all these other people. But
He wasn't really too far off, because one of my earlier experiences, like Peter Frampton, people like that, used that as part of their sets.
Yeah,
sure.
and
that was like 76.
Mm-hmm.
And talkbox guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
And vocoder, like on Kraftwerk, and what I have is sort of a modern imitation or evolution of those sort of things. Of the idea of superimposing human voice over electronic textures and or manipulating it, and yes, I am using a certain degree of autotune, but
Are you?
there is some autotune on here, there's vocoding on here, there's a lot of different effects.
Autotune is just like a vocoder, basically, right? I mean,
There are distinctions, but I say autotune is it's sort of the sound of 2000 to 2010, and it's the sound of the pop music.
It got used a lot in pop music.
It got used and abused.
It became the thing that everyone used for about 2 or 3 years.
And I don't know,
or whatever.
I mean, I sort of have a funny opinion on this. It's when we're doing electronic music or hip-hop where we're supposed to be sounding like robots, it's a little bit more okay than when you're listening to like some pop country record and you hear this guy and he's singing and it's like totally overproduced and you can hear he sounds like a country guitar playing robot,
right,
rounding up some robot cows. going off to a corporate factory farm
weird,
or
isn't it?
something, and
Yeah.
it's they've hijacked country music, man.
No, even like the Moroccan and Egyptian pop music is all. It's like it's amazing oud players and all this stuff, but then all of a sudden it'll be this horrible auto-tune vocal thing.
You know, so it, like anything, it can be used tastefully or it can be used horribly. So just
That's imperfect.
you know,
Perfect quote.
just like you have a meal with salsa, just put enough on there to give it good flavor, but you can't drink a bottle of salsa. That's not going to be a nutritious
Not
meal
your main
for you.
course. Yeah. Interesting. So, what other devices do you had? The Electribe. Which one is that? MX.
This is the Electribe EMX. It is a virtual analog synthesizer and drum machine. It also has vocal effects that process.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm running my voice through 3 different devices in a row. So if you wonder, is it hard to keep the feedback from overriding? It is hard to keep the feedback from overriding when you're running through 3 effects devices in a row, and that is one great improvement in the gear lately. Is the preamps are a lot cleaner, so it has let us do a lot more with effects. But anyway,
Well, I noticed you got some glowing little 12AX7 tubes in there too.
oh yes, that's right. The Electribe, even the EMX, even though it is a digital simulation of analog, it runs all of the sound that comes out it. All of my set was going through genuine tubes at the end. So, you know, it gives it that analog warmth, and you can dial that in or out to the flavor and sort of get the best of both worlds. And that was very appropriate when collaborating with Amps for Christ, you know, where he uses the tubes in ways that no one ever dreamed of using them, you know, to create totally different sounds than are expected. It doesn't just process the sound, it makes new sounds that are coming from, you know, molecules interacting in a very strange way. You know, all right. Anyway,
Yeah.
I need to take a break for some more tea and recharge my voice, but maybe I'll set up that experimental set if it's okay.
I'd
with
like
you
to.
guys, or-
That
Or-
sounds great. And after your set, I'd like to follow up on what you just said.
Groovy,
on-
groovy.
Great. Let's hold that thought then, and we'll
All
just
right.
we'll take a quick break, and then you'll come back with the Tenorion, and you can
Oh, yeah.
explain what that is.
Tenorion.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's no time limit. Like it's Tuesday, and so we got 24 hours ahead of us. It's cool.
That was Franz K. Oops. Franz K. Set number 2 tonight. Thanks for playing, Franz.
Thank
Really
you for
appreciate
coming
it.
in. Seems to me that you have a diversity in style,
What do you think about that?
Franz.
That was a little different from your previous set. Go ahead and grab that mic for a second. There you are. What is this? What in the world are we
So
hearing?
this thing is the Tenorion.
Tenorion. Who makes that?
And
Roland?
it's sort of an art instrument. It's produced by Yamaha.
It's a Yamaha
and
device.
Toshio Iwai. It was mass produced, but not in huge amounts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But, they don't make them anymore, so this is now a collector's item. Gonna hang on to this one.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, because the normal music that comes out of a Tenorion is sort of, it's ambient. The general sound of the instrument,
Mm-hmm.
if an instrument has a general sound, I mean, one might say a ukulele will tend to sound, sort of high register and perhaps a bit Hawaiian, or something like that.
Yeah.
But if the Tenori had a sound to it, it's sort of got an ambient IDM chiptune type of sound to it. But because I'm into noise music, it has been my ambition to make the noisiest possible music
Right.
with this device intended. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it was intended to do other things because it can control other devices. It's not just the built-in sounds, but I loaded it up with a bunch of really, really noisy, destructive, distorted sounds, and
Right.
well, not destructive for the case of violence, but just like a huge timpani section or something would be, something primal. And you'll notice that what I was playing had a tempo to it. It had a sense of a tempo, but it kept changing what that tempo was. And you know, playing with an instrument like this, it's really weird because, you know, what you're going on is not necessarily the tempo that's set on the dial, but it is what is the perceived tempo that the people who are listening to it think that it is. So depending on how the notes are, and it's just you know, like the fellow who was talking about the array imbiras. Right. You know, tenorion is yet another interesting alternate interface for making music. And there's a whole bunch of interesting, you know, music inventors and people figuring out to use things. You know, of course, like we were saying earlier, hip-hop turntablism, a drastic example of using a device just made to play back sound. Yep. And if you watch a really complicated turntablist set now, you can see them scratching tunes with a single note of a saxophone or something. They scratch a song. Yeah. Or something like that. So anyway, just wanted to dispel the idea that you have to only write happy tunes with the tenorion, because you know, you can sort of go in a rite of spring type of direction if you want to, you know, and just do that or whatever. So yeah, basically there are lights on both sides of it. A lot of people say it looks like a light bright. It's not a light bright, but I can see where that comes from. You press the buttons on one side and they also flash on the other side so the audience can see what you're doing. It's a performance instrument, you see.
So you're pressing buttons that light different things, and then what does that send signals to?
Well,
something else, or is that creating the sounds within it?
It's either or. Mm-hmm. There's a cable that you can connect it to. I wasn't using that cable tonight, but in some of my sets on YouTube, you can see it running other synthesizers. You know, and
okay.
Basically anything with a MIDI cable, you can make hip-hop with it. You can make, as I did, experimental noise that ended up in kind of an ambient and then went back into the noise, you know. You can, whatever, you know, just be creative and stuff like that. So,
well, do you want to stop the interview in a second, because it's getting kind of late, and we'll try to invite you back another time? I think that would be a good idea.
No, I really like talking about this stuff, and thank you guys so much for the opportunity to come in.
I'm pretty much
and
interested in what you were saying. I mean, it's...
Oh, yeah. It's incredible, man. I just, we've gone over our time, and I think we should try to get you back to do a totally other performance. I would
love you to.
And I can.
I would love.
I have a couple of different sets, actually, because everything is moving in the direction of laptops with controllers now. Mm-hmm. You know, and like in the show before, you know, there were a couple of performers using laptops with controllers. Yep. And that's the way it's going. I didn't have a laptop with controllers tonight. I just had machines. But everything is going towards laptops with controllers. But the controllerism is the new word for that. But there's all these strange sort of controllers. Like, I went to the 30th anniversary of the movie Tron.
Nice.
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you know, amazing visuals, amazing soundtrack too. One of the first,
Wendy Carlos.
With, Wendy Carlos. But they had a guy playing a laser harp, and he was doing electro and dubstep, but he was triggering his Ableton Live with his hands blocking laser beams on this laser harp. kind of like, I can't pronounce French. How do you say it? Jean-Michel Jarre?
Oh, Jean-Michel Jarre. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Right. But
So it kind of had that type of sound.
it didn't. But
Oh.
it had the laser harp
Oh.
that he was pioneered for using in stadium rock sort of settings.
Nice.
Anyway. So
I love
thank
that
you guys
stuff.
so very much, and I've had a great time.
So thanks, Franz. Thanks for playing.
No, thank you very much. It's informative for me because I'm learning a lot from this, and I would like for you to come back. I mean,
Sure.
for sure. I mean, I enjoyed
And the other
this.
thing is, I have a lot of experience accompanying poets
Oh, really?
with background music or something like that. So we could do a set like that
I
sometime.
would love to. I'd really love to. I'm looking
be
for new
interesting.
new venues and new ways of
And
reaching out.
In
you know?
fact, at one show a very long time ago, we might have been involved in a jam session. I think at a place, I don't remember the name of it, maybe closed now, but there were a lot of performers, and at the end of the night, we all played together. It's possible, but who knows?
You could never
Anyway,
tell.
that was the FC days.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks
Well,
a
anyway,
lot.
So thanks, Franz.
And may I give a shout out to my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
All right, that's where most of my stuff is. It's youtube.com/VJ Franz K. That's FRANZ, like Franz Ferdinand. K, like Franz Kafka, except my name isn't Kafka. But anyway, all right. Good night.
Good night.
Everyone.
Good
Wait,
night.
can I do a station thing for you?
Sure,
Do you
that'd
guys
be great.
Do,
Oh,
a
that'd be so
station
great.
Announcements?
Do it. Let's. We'll
right,
make
here
it
we
into
go.
a little promo for yeah. Wait till the truck goes by.
So you guys go by Kill Radio rather than KILL, or is it both?
Kill Radio.
It's Kill Radio.
Yeah.
This is VJ Franz K, and you are listening to killradio.org on the internet.
I love it. Now do one for the Open Window Show on killradio.org.
Here, let me do one less fake and monster truck. All right. More in earnest. Here we go. This is VJ Franz K, and you are listening to Open Windows on killradio.org.
Unbelievable, man. Unexpected. Thank you. Thank you, Franz.
Thanks again.